Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm back again today. 2 streams in the same day, how about that? This is going to be part 4. Part 4 of what? Part 4 of this. Part 4 of building the 1/48 scale Airwolf by Aoshima. And so yeah, I already did some work on it earlier today. That's in part 3 obviously. But I wanted to do more. I wanted to work on this more, and so I'm back, which is why I'm in the same shirt. Although I'm not wearing pants, I'm wearing shorts. Just to clarify, I am wearing shorts. So don't TOS me there, Twitch. Okay, so what are we doing? We finished the clear coat, got that done. In the meantime, I got the tail rotor, I don't know, mechanism. That has been installed on there. So you can see there, with the little cap on the end. That makes sure that it won't come out. I glued the fin on. Now, the fin doesn't have the clear coat on it. And when I glued it in here, a little bit of paint right on that little edge, that little line right there. Try and show you, maybe on this one, you might be able to see that just a little bit of a white line right across there, because this piece actually is molded in white, and so that's been painted the anthracite color. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to fill that in, but I'm going to wait until it's together because I have to redo I've got to put clear coat on this too. Excuse me. So I decided to put in the top, the main rotor, the engine, I guess you could say, up top there, and so that's there. I just got it on the one side, and I went ahead and I put the windows in on this side. So this is done. These are just about ready to go together. Just about. Not quite. Because we have to get the cockpit in there. And I think that's the last piece that has to go, is the cockpit. So I want to change my glasses because I don't want to have to keep doing this and over and over and over again. So yeah. So let's get my other glasses. That. As you may have noticed, maybe you didn't notice, I put the bottom of the box back together because I have no more pieces. I got no more sprues. It's all just a matter of assembly now. Nothing more to take off of any sprues. It's all just assembling the parts. So let's get this cockpit put in there. I just want to double check. That is together. That fin is on here. And that's going to be it. Just put the cockpit in. So the cockpit has locator pins, 2 at the front here, right there, and then these 2 at the back. Now what I did, because inside here is the, like I've mentioned it before, the little plastic poly caps that come with it, what goes in there, and then this piece goes down on top, and then you just glue it on. And I thought, well, with this being on the base, I'll show you here, this goes in there like that, and all it does is just sits like that. But I figured with repeated, take it off, put it on, it might put a little bit of pressure on this and push it up, and I didn't want that to ever happen. So I just took a couple of flat pieces off one of the sprues and I bent them and I glued them on there, just to add a little bit of extra support to hold that down, just to make sure that's always going to stay in place and never move. I just wanted to take that bit of a precaution to do that. So like I said, we've got these locator pins, and they go one in the front and one right in there, just like so. like so. And then it just makes sure that it lines up there. Got a bit of a real big line there that you can see the piece going along there. I don't like that. So I'm probably going to wind up putting a little bit of putty in there to clean that up a bit. Just because it's fairly big and I don't like it. So I think I put some glue on there. So I get this back out so I can put some glue on the pegs. Get out of it. There we go. Okay, let's get some glue. I use my thick glue because it takes a little bit longer to set. I don't know why I just did that. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit just along the edge here, just to give it a little bit more of, I was going to say solidarity, but that doesn't make any sense. Okay, in you go, in you go, just like that. Okay, let's line this up as best as I can and just kind of hold it and hope the glue holds. No, come on, be nice, cooperate with me. Get in your hole like you're supposed to. I don't want to accidentally touch any of the paint with glue on my fingers. Yeah, so I can hold it like this and put a bit of pressure and hold it against that line, but the glue, as soon as I let go, it starts to pull away. So try and figure out a way to hold it long enough to actually have the glue set a little bit. I noticed the same thing on that one video I watched of that guy building this. When he, of course, he didn't do any of this process. He didn't show any of this. So it's kind of like any problems he had, we have no clue. I have no clue what kind of problems he may have run into while building it. So, because he just posted the video of it assembled. So, but I noticed when he was showing his up close shots of it that he had quite a big gap along that line there, and he clearly just never bothered to fix it. I do, however, want to fix that. So even though I'm holding it tight and it's a pretty good, close the gap pretty good, I still don't like how big the gap is there. So I am going to use my white putty before I clear coat it, and I'm going to fill that in. I think I've held it long enough now. And it pulls away, but that's okay. Let it pull away all at once. I need to get some tape ready to tape it up, because I know that it's not a perfect mesh together. Just in test fitting and stuff like that, I know already that if I squeeze the tail section together, the nose section will come apart, and vice versa. So, got some strips of tape ready, and now the big deal. Do I put it on this, put the glue on this side or that side? This side has the holes for the pegs, so I'm going to do this side. Now for the interior stuff and for the holes for the pegs, I will use the thick glue. I have no problem doing that. But for all the other parts of the panel lines, I want to kind of I'd rather use the thin set. Now the first challenge, of course, is lining it up over the tail fin here. It is a somewhat tight fit over that, as you can see. It doesn't like to just slide super easy. But the alignment is nice. It lines up good. So my first thing is put some tape around where my fingers are here. Let's get the nose together. It's actually fitting together quite nicely. Put some tape here to make sure that holds. Now I'm going to add more glue later, so as I discover more separation, I can add glue along the panel lines and get it tightened up better. This is really just a preliminary gluing. And that's good enough for now, and I'll let that sit. And we're done with this for now, with that glue. I did already post part 3 on YouTube, and right away after the checks, YouTube demonetized me because I have a karaoke version of an AC/DC song. And I had it turned up a little bit, and YouTube went, "Hey, you're using a non-DMC free version of a song there." And so they demonetized me, boom, right away. Not that I could be monetized right now anyway. So yeah, in the future I won't make no money off that video. And well, I don't really care. I'm not doing this. I'm not posting videos on YouTube to make money. Okay, so a couple of things. I have some extra parts. I just realized that I lied. 5 minutes ago I lied. I'm sorry. I do have one extra sprue. And that's just a couple of little pieces that are go on the nose and stuff like that. Antenna things that stick out. I have to paint these first. And so I'm going to do that. Get my anthracite shaken up. Three parts on here that need to be painted. Probably have to do a second coat on them. There we go. I'll do a second coat on them in a little bit because I don't actually need those parts just yet. I just want to get them painted so that it's done and that they're ready to go. This guy here, he goes on the nose and he needs to be clear coated. But I think what I'll do is I will clear coat it while it's on there. I think it's going to be the smart way to go. So while we're doing that, we're just going to wait for that glue to set. I think I can add a little bit along here, along the bottom, without too much trouble. And you can see the gap there, right? So I want to glue that because I didn't get glue on this side. So I need to glue that in. And maybe I can squeeze that together a little bit and let the glue set a little bit. So I'll get my thin set. I don't want to lose that in the blackness of my thing. The blackness of my thing. So if I do that, squeezing a little bit, add some glue in there, add some glue along here. there's actually quite a big gap as it gets to the front here. But there's nothing I can do about that particular gap. It's just kind of the way it is. Okay, so I can add some glue along this line here to make sure that stays nice forever. Kind of strategically put it in where there's some panel lines, just in case I get a bit of excess and it kind of wants to take the paint off for some reason, which sometimes glue does that. Okay, so now let's take this piece off, peel it back, and add some in here. That nice and tight, just to hold it. Now I'm going to do the same in this spot. Just did a boo-boo. I got a little bit too much glue on there and I took some of the paint off. And so, which is okay because I can easily just spray that there and then do the clear coat again. I think the back here is okay. No, not really. It's nicely separating here on the bottom, so I need to fix that. Okay, just double check my tail rotor. It still spins. I didn't accidentally get glue on it. That would suck. So I'm going to reposition this tape. I don't want it to get in the white there. I'm going to have to hold it. I'm going to have to hold it for a minute. That's okay. I want to check something here while I'm holding this. Okay. How are we doing now? Gonna stay together? Nope. I tried using a little clamp earlier to hold it, and it actually, the clamp held it so tight that it actually dug into the paint a little bit, and it's kind of detrimental to what I was trying to do, so I don't want to put another clamp on there. I wish I had clamps that I could like adjust how much it clamps. That would be nice, and of course being small, that would be ideal. But I don't. Okay, so if I touch that, should be okay. I'm going to risk wrapping the tape around again. Tape is holding it good enough. Okay. I think I want to add a little bit here. I don't think I really need it. At this point, I don't think I need it. I think I'm okay taking the tape off. I will add a little bit, just not tape or glue. Just to make sure, so no, the glue doesn't want to go in. So when the glue doesn't want to go in, that tells me the gap is too tight. Okay. I think I'm at a point where I'm just about done with the gluing process, and this is together. I do want to add some in here on this side of the fin. Okay. So that's that. So we have our two halves together now. It's finally coming together. And it's looking pretty good. I'm happy with the way it's coming out. Would I prefer to completely get rid of that line that separates the two halves? Yes, I would. I would love to be able to get rid of that. But alas, I cannot. So I just have to live with that. Let's see here. I guess I can put the nose piece on, which means just going to pull up a little bit here and then get some glue. So I have test fit this already, but not with it together like this, so it just sits on there like that. But like I said, it's going to need to have clear coat, so but I'm going to mask off the windows and then just go with the clear and do this separate. Or should I? So I got other things to consider on there. Yeah, I'll glue it on. I will glue it on. It seems so dark now that it's dark outside. It might also be because I changed this light here. I changed it to the more natural yellowy instead of, well, the other kind. Okay. So our nose piece is on. And now it really does look like Airwolf. Because that was unique. They didn't have that on the regular Bell 222. So that was kind of like, hey, it's got a, oh, what do they call it? A cowl induction hood scoop. Okay, so that's on, and of course, and they want me to put those little antenna things on there now, but I need to wait. I'm going to do a second coat on them. And of course, after I take them off the sprue, I'll probably have to touch them up where this didn't get to paint them. But that's quite all right. There we go. So now I can get those dry and I can put them on. In the meantime, I have the engine exhaust that go up top here. Just have to see which side is which. I think this side, I think this is for this side. I think so. Yeah, it's definitely this side. Now I've got so many layers of paint there. I've taken some paint off of here, but I need to take some paint off of there so I get a good coverage. So I will just take my file here and just scratch through the layers of paint. I only need one little spot, but I want to get right down to the plastic. And as you can see, well, it doesn't help this thing's molded in black, so it's kind of hard to tell when I've actually gone down to the actual bare plastic. That kind of looks like I've gotten there, so I might as well do this side while I'm at it. Let's turn this over. I don't want to accidentally scratch a spot that I don't want to. Just about getting down to through the layers of clear coat and anthracite down to the actual plastic. There we go. Tape sticking to my shirt. So there we go. That's scratched up nice and awful looking. Glue, little dab will do ya, and then there we go. One exhaust on. I will have to go touch up the exhaust with the flat black. There's a couple of spots where it's just been scratched a little bit and just needs to be touched up a little bit around the edges. So those are on now. Let's see what else we got. That's those. We got to put the side pods on, and then those pieces, and then this page is, oh, we've got the little lights. Little lights. Where are my little lights? Oh, I think they are clear. Number 8. Really? Or is it 9? No, number 9. Number 9? There's one on the top too, right? There's one that goes up here and one that goes on the bottom. Back here. So it's only showing me the one on the bottom for now. It must have been a previous step. But how? How could it be a previous step? It could not have been a previous step, because this is the first time we've put the two together. Now it's together. We have the hole there. They're showing number 9 that goes underneath the tail. Oh, there it is. And yeah, number 10. Okay. And they want them both clear red with chrome trim. Wow, they are freaking tiny. Chrome trim is going to be tricky, and then the clear red will be tricky, but I can do that. And that'll also give me a few minutes to let that dry. So I'm going to get my little water tray again, and Yeah, so that I don't have to keep running back to the bathroom after I paint. Because I gotta paint that silver, plus I gotta paint little tips of these are gonna be silver also. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I need my silver, and I need a little tiny brush. And this brush will do. And lose those. Now I just need to do around the base. I think that's good enough for that one. It's a little bit hard to see because of the clear to tell whether I've actually covered this part that I want to cover. But it's not so bad, it's not too hard. And if I didn't have this brush and I had to use a bigger one, that wouldn't be the end of the world. So you can see it better at different angles and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, so the silver's done on those. While I have my silver brush, while I have my brush, I might as well do the silver tips on these. There's one. Two. And three. And they're done. Okay, like I said, once I take these off of the sprue, I'm probably going to have to touch them up with the anthracite, but I will do that once I've actually put them on the model. Okay, so that's done. Now I need the clear red, and I have that somewhere over here. There we go. And then of course I'm going to need my Tamiya paint thinner. Is that an empty jar? No, that's got thinner in it. Anyway, clear red, as the name implies, you put it on and you can see right through it. It just doesn't cover solid. It doesn't dry solid at all. This stuff does stink, and obviously I think it's enamel, no, acrylic. So you need to use acrylic thinner to thin it out. Whew, that's stinky stuff. Again, it's a little bit tough to tell where I've actually painted on this thing and where I haven't. Of course, because it's clear red and it's on a clear piece of plastic. And that's it. Two tiny little things, two tiny little dots of red on them, and that's it. That's done. So, it's just about to try and dip in the water, but I'm using acrylic paint, so I need the acrylic thinner to clean my brush. For some reason I find that this Tamiya thinner, even though it's acrylic thinner against acrylic paint, it doesn't like to clean my brush properly. I don't know why. But okay, so now that I'm on the subject of clear paints, I'm going to use the clear blue. I can find it over here. Should be over here. There it is. There's a little bit of dust on it. Clear blue for the sides of the pods. That little tiny blue lens that's on them. Now the blue over top of the green isn't going to look that great, so maybe I'll do a little dot of silver first and then put the blue over the silver. It's probably going to be the better way to go. So first, do a little dot of silver in there, just like that. Got a little circle of silver now in that tiny little dot. I don't even know if trying to show you on the camera is worth it, whether you're going to see it or not. I'll try and show you in a sec here. Clean the silver off with my brush. See if I can show you on the camera a little silver dot. It's right up in that corner there. With the light, it's kind of hard. If I maybe get the right angle, you might be able to see it. It's tough to show you. It's right in the corner. It's right in that corner there. Yeah. That's going to be blue in a moment. Clear blue. Just a little detail that I want to add, just because it's on a part of the thing, part of the model that everyone's going to look at. Everyone's going to look at the machine guns, because that's a unique part of Airwolf, right? So I want to have that little bit of authenticity to it. And that's it. Just a tiny little dot of the blue over top of the silver. And I allowed the the blue to really come through and be seen a lot more than I think it would have if I just tried to paint the green or paint over the green. You see what I mean? Like 3 times now I've wiped my brush off and it doesn't clean. Well, the blue, still there's blue coming out. I don't know if there's a stronger thinner that I could use to clean those paints off, but I figured Tamiya thinner for Tamiya paint, that's the way to go, you would think, but apparently not. Okay, so I'll try and show you the little blue dot now. You can see it right there. You can see where that little white spot on my thumb, right below that is the little blue dot. And yeah, so there's 2 of them. One on each side, duh. Okay, so what are we doing? We're going to put the little lights in. This might be dry enough now. I need number 9 for the bottom. Is it dry? Yeah, it's dry. Now, can I get this off the sprue without the thing flying somewhere? If I put my fingers and kind of hold it, yes. Here's number 9. Number 10, you're next. This is going to be a bit of a challenge. Whoops. To not fling things everywhere. Just a second while I check my phone. Okay, that's done. Before I do that, I'm gonna mix myself another drink. Tonight I am drinking some Crown Apple with some Pepsi. I can do that. I can lick the jar because I'm the only one drinking it. And by the way, I also double dip my chips because usually I'm the only one eating them. Okay. Ooh, a little strong. All right, so let's try and grab this thing with the tweezers in a way that I'm not going to drop it. Fits pretty tight in there, so I'm going to use my thin set. Yeah, it's not dropping out, so I'm going to use my thin set on there and just let it run into the crack right there, and that way it'll be held in forever. There we go. Little light on the bottom done. Little light on the bottom done. That's a lot of white, isn't it? Okay. So now that one's done. I feel like I had something there. Anyway, now we got the one up top too. That's number 10. Where did my clear tree go? Right here. Glasses off. So even though I've got my other glasses on, still, as soon as I get up close, my eyes do not focus. And that's what I'm told is just a part of getting old. And that's the last part on that. Okay, so this one goes on the top. So again, I'll grab it like that and see how it fits in here. Whoa, don't fall inside. That was close. That was close. If it fall inside, and that would suck because it would be inside there forever. And I would forever have a little rattle in my Airwolf. Okay, that is glued in. And now that is the top light. I'll show you here. Right there. Doink. Top light. It's actually very rare that I get those done really nicely like that. Okay, so where were we? We have the lights are done. We need this. We got the exhausts done on the top. We've got to put the guns on, the side pods. I'm hesitant to put them on until I'm done because it leaves things sticking out of it that could potentially get knocked off. And another thing I just realized, I need to clear coat those. I need to clear coat those. These need a shot of clear coat on. So, let's get our alligator clips. And let's find a good spot to hold them. You gotta know where to hold them. That works, I think. And that'll work on that one too. Okay. Clear coat. I'm sweating. Okay. Clear coat. Now, of course, I could think, well, maybe I'll clear coat them while they're on there, but I really would rather not start spraying random spots on this thing with different layers of clear. I would rather do these things just kind of individually as needed. There's one. So I'll take this and just put it underneath my glue like that to hold it. I'll do this one. Good layer on there now, and put that under that glue. Now again, it only takes a minute or two for it to dry, so that's perfect. While it's doing that, I am going to touch up this little piece here with the anthracite and get that ready for its clear coat. Again, it's just a tiny little spot that needs a touch-up. Do this, get extra paint off so I can kind of blend it a little bit. I think actually I'm going to try and do this on here. See, now I don't need to spray on that spot. And I'm just looking for any other spots that I might have to touch up since I have it on my brush. I think I want to touch up around here, around this spot. I'm going to do that with the white. Because when I put the putty on, I got to put putty along here and under there. And then I'm going to have to clear coat that to make sure the putty stays the same as the rest. Doesn't seem to want to. It's closed. Okay. Typical tester's fit. It doesn't want to fit proper. They're not testers. What am I saying? I must be drunk already. Revell is the brand name that I was thinking of. Okay, so it's probably safe to pull the tape off the tail here. Thankfully the glue did not stick to the tape. That's done, and it's nicely holding, although it is a little sticky. It's like the tape left some of itself behind, which is not good at all. Which actually doesn't surprise me with this tape. It's kind of losing its adhesiveness slowly. Well, that's fine there. That's fine there, so I don't know, it's just something to do with the tailpiece. It's fine now that I wiped it off, but yeah. So I don't know if you can see really well. In the white, you can see that separation of the two pieces really well. So I'm going to run a bead of my white putty all the way along there, just to try and help it a little bit. I'll just run it on there and then I'll just rub it away with my fingers, and I will do clear around here again. So I've got this plastic putty. It's a nice water-soluble white putty. So I like it because it comes with this nice applicator tip, so you can apply a very nice tiny little bead and almost like just kind of squeeze it into tight cracks, and before it starts to dry I can wipe it, and now it kind of gets rid of that big gap in the panel line, in the panels, and it just makes it look a little bit better. And I like the fact that it's water soluble, so if I really want to clean it up or thin it out, I can. If I accidentally push it too far into the cracks, I can just add more. So right now I'm just trying to fill it in a little bit, and then I'm just wiping off the excess. I'm kind of making a shit job of my clear coat on there, but that's okay, because I'm going to come back after with another coat of clear. So I don't want to do too much at once. See, I actually got a pretty good gap there where the two panels are not lined up. So that's why there's a gap here. And why this side doesn't look as nice. the gap is much bigger, but I couldn't press them together. So it makes sense to me why he had such a big gap, and you could see it in his video, the gap in his panels. I'm kind of hiding it, cheating, by putting the putty in between. It's not going to hide the gap by any means, but if there's anything that's going to allow you to see into it, this will stop that, and that's what I'm going for here. The whole purpose is just to hide that dark line that you can see going along in between the two panels. Realistically, all I'm doing is just kind of filling it in and then wiping the excess away. There we go. So that's going to be done. It's not perfect by any means, and I know people can do a much better job than me. At the same time though, I have to consider how visible is that part. Is that a piece that's going to be visible all the time? No. Now it is an improvement. Even just looking at it on the camera, that line looks like it's hidden pretty well, right? And that's the whole idea behind it. So now, with that done, I want to tidy up this little curve, this little semicircle here. It kind of looks like shit where the tape didn't, I guess on the camera it looks pretty good, but it's not that great of a job to me. It needs improvement. I don't want to mask and paint. I think just touching it up with my paintbrush a little bit, with the regular white paint, and then because I'm going to be hitting with this with a clear over here and again anyway, I think that'll be good enough. Yeah, I think that's going to be good enough, just like that. Just double checking, make sure both my rotors are going to be able to turn when it comes time to actually put the blades on. So let's do some touch up on that white before we put those side pods on. So I don't want to do even 2 coats of this, because I think 1 is enough. I just want to tidy it up. I'm not really changing the line of it or anything like that. I just want to tidy it up a little bit because I think it looks a little shoddy. It looks a little too, just a little too much overspray, and I'm not really happy with the way it looks. So I just want to tidy it up a bit. Really all I'm doing is just sharpening the lines. And I think that right there is good enough to just tidy it up a little bit and say, I can safely say that looks much better. I like the way that looks now. And of course, again, you're not going to be able to tell because you couldn't tell from before. So I feel much happier about that now, that that's tidied up those lines just that little bit. I think we're ready to put the side pods on. Now that they've been clear coated. See how they look in comparison. It's that kind of, because I've got like 2 coats of clear on here and only one on the pods or on the end pods, so I want to make sure they look the same glossiness, and it looks like I'm going to need another coat. So there you go. That's why it's always good to check. So definitely need another coat. Okay, clear. Clear! Of course, the whole thing is the clear on the black. That's the main part. Clear on the white is not nearly as important. But I still want to have 2 coats on the white anyway. Okay, so since I can't put those on right now, what I can do instead is I can put the little nose pieces on. So we want number 31 and 32, one on each side. I'm going to see if they've made little provisions for them or not. Looks like there might be some kind of little indent. There is one there and one there, and then number 20 goes up a little higher into, I guess, into that little slot. Okay, so there's 31 and 32, so let's take those off. There's one. Two. Okay. And then this guy. Okay, and that makes this sprue done. I think now I might actually be out and not have any more sprues. Unlike when I was lying earlier. It said I had no more, and really I had 2 more. Okay, so these are exactly the same, and they just sit in there like that. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to put them on without having a bunch of glue everywhere. So I'm going to try and use a thin set. I'm going to try and put them in their spots and then dab it with the thin set. So let's turn around the way I need them to be. Requires a bit of manipulating. does have that little hole, or little peg, to go in that hole. But will it stay there on its own? That's the question. No, it won't. So, because of that, I need to use my other glue. Get this guy ready to go in his spot like that, with glue on that tab. Getting it to actually sit and put that tag in the hole is difficult, but it's in there. Okay, so there's one. Now I've got the other one. A little bit crooked, but that's okay. We can line them up. There we go. They're done. Now the third piece. That would be you. Don't drop it. I don't want to drop it. I know if I drop it, it's probably gone forever. A little too much glue. Okay. Went from too much glue to not enough glue. Okay, so our 3 antenna, radar, whatever they are, things are now on the nose. See them there sticking out, just like that. With a little bit of luck and a lot of patience, they're on there. Okay, now with those on there, I should be able to, yeah. Clear coat's dry. At least it's pretty dry anyway. This one's dry. I don't want to press too hard into it because it is fresh, and so it'd be easy to put fingerprints into it, and that would suck. As I already found out on the window, fingerprints suck. Now, unfortunately, I got too shiny of a clear coat on there, and it doesn't look the same. So that's okay. It just means I wind up actually putting another coat of clear on it after all. So that's on there, just like that. And so I'll put a little bit of glue on there. I actually want to glue in the holes and get the pegs to glue in there. Is what I want to do, rather than just gluing on the surface. So it's actually glued in by the pegs. And on the bottom there I'll use some of my thin set just to add a little extra strength. Wrong one. There we go. Okay, there's one side. Now it's really starting to look like Airwolf. Got some weapons on there. And I've already knocked one of the antennas off, and I didn't even notice it. So, can I find it? Did it land on my table? Fuck. I know I'm not going to get any help from my chat because nobody talks to me in my chat. Okay, I'm going to hit my light here and maybe I'll find it. Land on me. No? Is that it? I found it! So let's try this again. Now that I kind of know what I'm looking at, what's going to be involved in getting this thing back on. You know what I should do? Is any part of my videos that have a good song that I like, just keep my mouth shut and don't say anything, and then I can, if YouTube wants to demonetize that portion of my video, I haven't said anything, I didn't say anything, so it wasn't important. So if I want to mute that section, then go right ahead. You know what I'm saying? I'm having a much harder time lining this up the second time around. It's almost like I totally missed the hole. Frustrating. Okay. Now, because I had to play with that so much to get it to line up, I'm going to put some thin set on it. to make sure that mother crapper stays. Here we go. And just for added measure, I'm going to do the same on these guys, especially you. Okay. Where were we? This side. We've got a bit of paint inside that hole there that I need to clean out so the thing fits a little nicer. So when I was trying to put it on 5 minutes ago, or however long it's been, it was being a bit resistant. So there we go, it fits it nicer now. That's much better. Okay. Now, glue on the pegs. There we go. Nice. And then, careful. Some thin set along the bottom edge, because you know it's going to need it. Let that set. Okay. Now, it's really, really looking like Airwolf. Machine guns on each pod. And this time all 3 antennas are on. So there we go. Just like that. There's that kind of iconic Airwolf look. The machine guns on each pod like that. Yeah. It's looking pretty good. We are getting there. We're almost done. That's how it sounds. Okay. We are done on this page. We've put on the lights. I'm not putting the tail rotor on it, the blade on yet. Got the exhausts on, got the pods on, got the antennas and the nose and the hood scoop on. So we're on the next page. And on the next page, we have the big ass tail fin. 2 little pins there that line up with the 2 little holes. Now that light there, I'm not sure what color that light's supposed to be. Now on here they're showing you to paint this thing with red and white stripes. And I've seen guys paint that with red and white stripes. I've yet to see that on any picture of an actual helicopter though. Let me just take a look at some pictures right now. Because if it's got red, if I can find red and white stripes on that, then I will paint the red and white stripes on there. But if I don't, then I won't. Simple as that, right? Going through my pictures here, there's one that's kind of nice picture out of the studio. And guess what? I'm wrong. You can see that little thing right there. Let me get into my other picture here. Right there. Right in there. You can see there's a red stripe there. There's one just behind that corner there. It looks like another one right there. And then another one right there. So, although it does have the reds and white stripes, unlike what I've seen guys do, where they wrap it like it's wrapped in red and white, obviously it's just little spots that go along under there. Just kind of doink, 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 doink. How's it go? It goes like doink, 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 doink. So what I'm going to do is get my red. What color is that? That's brown. Don't want that. Red. Red. And I'm going to do just exactly what they have on that picture. I'm going to paint with my screwdriver. No, I'm not. I have water right in front of me. I can clean my brush after. Just I think that's going to be good enough. Just a few red dots on there. On the bottom of it's good enough. Now that light, of course, I'm not sure what color that light's supposed to be. I'm going to see if I can find another picture of the tail rotor and see if I can find out what color that light is. I got a feeling it's going to be clear red because all the other lights are clear red, but I want to make sure, and it'll be easier to paint it when it's off the helicopter. So I'll let that sit and dry for a minute, and I'll take a look at it, see if I can find other pictures of that tail rotor. I know there's a picture of them standing really close, but it doesn't show that part. Let's see here. Do I have pictures of the tail rotor other than that one? So I can't see the light in that picture. So just scroll through my pictures. See if I can find a good one of that part of the helicopter. Not really seeing. There's lights on the sides of the pods. They don't show it in, they don't have it molded on them. Oh yeah, they do, but right there. But because it's black, I'm not going to be able to see the red. And I'm not about to scrape the black off in order to paint the red, so I'll just have to live with that the way it is. And going through my pictures, I can only assume that it's red because every other light on this thing is red. But I don't actually have a picture where I can see the actual light on the tail rotor. So that kind of sucks. So I can only assume that it's red. Yeah. I just have to assume that it's red. So I'll paint it red. I'll paint it in that clear red. So it's already painted white, so the clear red will come through pretty good on there. Here we go. Done. Scrolling through those pictures just now, what did I happen to see? Another picture where you can see the hook I don't know what they call it. It's obviously some kind of a bar to prevent the pilot from accidentally coming in at too sharp of an angle and hitting the tail rotor on the ground. The other picture is Airwolf sitting at like that kind of an angle up in the air, and there's no stripes on it at all. It's just plain white. So yeah, there's that. There is that. Okay, so it's gonna go on right here, and it's just a couple little pegs. So get some glue. It up. And it just goes on like that. Easy breezy. And I just realized I haven't clear coated that, which is fine because I got to clear coat this anyway, so I can clear coat that at the same time. And that's it for the tail fin. It's on there nice. Nice solid fit, just like that. Which is going to pose a little bit of a problem as I'm trying to put this down, if that's going to touch, and it does, so I need to just kind of wait. In the meantime, what have we got underneath here? We have the missile pod to go on, right in that spot, and that is the end of it. Not quite. I still have the little fins that go on each side here. And then, of course, I have the actual rotor blades to put on. Other than that, the build is done. The ever famous missile pods of Airwolf. Done. And that pretty much concludes this build. And with that, I'm going to call it a night. This is now pretty much done, other than adding those little fins, which take me all of 2 minutes to do, and obviously putting the rotor blades on. First and foremost, though, I need to clear coat this nose piece along with our little antennae, clear coat this fin, clear coat this fin, throw a clear coat under here just to tidy up where I've added that putty, put the rotor blades on, and it's done. Just like that. Am I going to show you guys that? No, I think you got it pretty much. The build is pretty much done. There's not much more to do. As I say and ask in all of my videos, head on over to my Twitch channel and check me out there. Follow me on Twitch. Do www.twitch.tv/duplicitous_29. I will put links in the description box below. It really helped me out. The more followers I get on Twitch. If I had as many followers on Twitch as I do on YouTube, I'd already be an affiliate, and that would be really awesome. But I'm not, and that's okay. If you guys have made it this far and watched the full hour and a half or whatever it's been, that's awesome. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Hit that like button. Why not? You made it this far. It doesn't cost you anything other than just pressing a left click on your mouse. Yeah, so why not, eh? Well, thank you guys. Thank you for the people who do follow me and subscribe. You guys are awesome. That's really great. And what am I doing in my next build? I've got a few things on my plate, so I'm going to have to decide. I'm just not sure which one yet. It might be the Millennium Falcon. It might be Maverick's F-14 Tomcat from Top Gun. I've got both the Revell version and the Tamiya version of the F-14A, and I'm going to build them side by side. That's my plan. And then of course I've got a Gundam kit. I've never built a Gundam kit. I've actually only watched, I don't know, 5 or 6 episodes of Gundam. So that's going to be a totally unique thing. I've never done anything like that, but I think they're pretty cool, and I'm going to try those out. So, and of course I've got another tank to build. So, like I said, I've got some things on my plate still. And yeah, so I'm going to call it a night, and we'll see how things go. I'm not sure how long it'll be before, because I still got a little bit of touch-up painting to do underneath there too. Maybe I'll just save it, and I'll do that in a part 5. You guys want a part 5? You want to see me actually complete this thing? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Actually do a part 5. So, until then, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for coming out. It's been great. Got a great day. 2 streams today. That's pretty good. And I got a lot done. Almost done. Almost finished. That's really cool. I really love Airwolf. Anyway, so leave it with that. Call it an evening. And thanks again for watching. And we'll see you all next time.